Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome to World of Warships for the day. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you a user replay. It was submitted to me by Pellinor, one of our clan members. He's actually one of my deputies. We just call him Pell, and the reason it was given to me is, I asked for it. And the reason I asked for it is because the guys were in the Discord going on about this battle that they had just had. And there was Dream, King and Pell teamed up here in a division. As you can see, there's the two of them in the cruisers in front of Pell in the battleship. And they were going on about this game, about how Pell did this, Pell did that. And I haven't seen the game from their perspective, but from King's perspective it would probably be pretty interesting. Dream's unfortunately is a little bit cut short. But the division, the way they played and the amount of kills they got together is just incredible. The medals were just flowing in. But there's also a lot of good points to take out. After watching this video, I was a little bit agitated by some of the play, not by Pell, but by some of the teammates of the play. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, keep your eye on the two DD players. They're both Shimakaze, both same ship, totally different styles of play. But the game overall, it goes down to the wire, and there's things that just shouldn't happen in this game, and it's Anyway, on the right of the minimap, the D cap, our first Shima is going into the cap. He's doing what you are supposed to do as a destroyer. He's going in, he's contesting. You've got the best concealment for a destroyer at tier 10. So you need to get up there and use that. And he's in the cap, and we can see it starting to be flipped, which means that there's another destroyer in there. So as a destroyer, that can make you a little bit nervous because, one, what is it? We know it's an enemy destroyer, but what is it? There's a Haragumo and a Shimakaze on the other side. Haragumo, deadly for any other destroyer, obviously because of its gunfire power. Enemy Shima, lots of torpedoes. They'll see each other at the same time, and so that's the thing. So we get confirmation that it's the Haragumo. Haragumo pops up, so our Shima can use concealment to get out of the way. On the left-hand side, the A cap, we have a player here who epitomizes the reason why everybody hates Japanese destroyer players. This guy is about to set off on his own little party to do what he wants instead of going into the cap. Doesn't matter what destroyer you're in. If you are the only destroyer at that cap, your primary role is spotting and cap contesting. And we can see that there's now a destroyer in A. It was always going to happen. On this map you usually play, if there's two destroyers, one goes one way, one goes the other. It just makes sense, but sometimes logic doesn't come into the game with some players. So we see Pell gets his first kill. He would have hoped to have gotten more, the 13,000 chunk there, but someone else hit that buffalo pretty hard and he finishes it off. Now, some things that Pell does with the Kurfurst in terms of accuracy, not all the time, but a lot of the time, you can't see Yamato players do that sometimes, and it's just crazy how there's a video up on Pell's channel actually when we played against another clan, and it was an Australian clan that we played against in clan battles, and his first 3 salvos are just citadels from the Kurfurst. It's incredible to watch. Admittedly, these guys are giving broadside, but the Kurfurst is notoriously, infamous for its dispersion. Not very good. Now, the enemy have capped A. So straight away the points are starting to tick up. We've lost one battleship, so that's about 60 points lost. They've lost a cruiser, so that's about 40 points lost. And then we see the torpedoes come here. Now if our destroyer had been doing his job, this may not have happened, because the Kurfürst would have been able to see them a lot earlier. Now, some players will say, well, he should have been running his 6-kilometre hydro, he's got amazing hydro. Well, no. Because if the destroyer was doing his job and was screening the battleship, that would have been prevented. The Kurfürst's hydro may be 6 kilometres, but using it just to try to protect yourself like that isn't going to help as often as you think it would. And the reason is because the Kurfürst is an absolute... Have a look at that. Look at that. Look at the size of that ship. It is absolutely massive. And it takes a long time to turn around and even to slow down. You know, it's the same with the Yamato and the Montana and things like that. You're talking these massive battleships. They haven't, even with 6 kilometres of hydro, the amount of players that you would see still getting torpedoed is incredible. We talk about these torpedoes that are being seen for miles all the time, and you should be able to dodge them. Yeah, you should, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes in these huge Goliaths of the ocean, you just can't. And so if he was screened, he would have been able to see them a lot earlier. The German 6-kilometre hydro is one of the best offensive weapons of the Kurfürst, of the Hindenburg, of whatever German ship you're in, you know. You look at the Z-52, it can use a hydro offensively, just brilliantly. Especially when you put up smoke and you get rushed by an enemy DD, it's all over. And using these hydros just out of nowhere is going to be a waste. Now, we see a smoke screen up ahead of us here. So obviously he's going to have to use the hydro now. He knows the DD's around. He probably knew the DD was around from the very start. And if he, again, old mate who's having a party up there on the A-line by himself, who's launching torps into the middle and is probably not going to hit anything, he should be down here doing his job. Now if you have a look at the other side, our other Shima has been pushed out of the cap. But there's a pretty heavy push in there with a Haragumo and a lot of other ships. But he's still in front of his team screening. So Pell's, as you can see here, Pell's got secondary spec, Kurfürst. You can go with the accuracy spec, but I think that the secondary spec's just a lot more fun. And it's handy, you know. You want to get in and brawl with the Kurfürst. It's got that turtle back armor, it's got a lot of health. The thing that the Kurfürst does suffer from when you have, even though you've got the turtleback armor and a lot of health, is that she eats penetration damage a lot. If you are able to aim between the armor belt and the deck plating, you can tank the Kurfürst for 10-15,000 damage easy. So lucky we are running the hydro, and we've decided to turn away instead of pushing into the enemy, because now we can see these torpedoes. The thing is though, is that these torpedoes have been launched in a way that's now forced Pell out of the cap. So even though we need cap points, we can't cap now because we haven't got eyes on the enemy destroyer. Destroyer play is so crucial to the game, even with the current CV all over the shop. Now here is something that is strange, and I cannot explain it in World of Warships. We have three ships on our right hand flank being pushed by the enemy. But if the enemy just played a spotting role, for example, if the Haragumo just spotted those two, one capital ship and a cruiser, the enemy wouldn't need to push. You'd be able to finish them off, you'd be able to sit on the two caps you've got, hold up the flank, and not worry about dying. The enemy is almost 400 points, 350 odd, whatever, points ahead. So they're a long way ahead, and even though we're starting to flip the alpha cap, there's every chance we could lose it because we're 5 ships down to the enemy's 3. But the Massachusetts here pushes way too far. Yes, they get the kill on the Amagi, but then we get the kill on the Massachusetts. And so now the enemy has lost points. Remember, when you have a battleship's worth 60 points if you kill it. So, and then a cruiser is 40 points, and I think an aircraft carries 65. I can't remember a destroyer, but a destroyer is around 30 odd points. So when you get kills, you gain the points and they lose the points. So you don't need to rush and charge in and get yourself absolutely annihilated. The amount of people that do is incredible. So Pell's in a bit of a rock and a hard place here. He's got to go back and defend. But then he's got capital ships on one side of him, and he's got an absolutely pain in the backside destroyer on the other. The Haragumo has 12-kilometer torpedoes, and it gets 6 of them plus a reload booster. So if he wanted to, he could take out almost all those ships. He's gunning down the Alaska. And if I was in the Haragumo, I'd try to do a quick flip to torpedo the Kurfurst while gunning down the Alaska, see if that will work. I'm going to die, I may as well try anything. So Pell sets the secondaries out on the Haragumo and gets the kill. Lucky for him. And lucky for him, the Haragumo was more occupied with the Alaska, so he doesn't actually get the torpedoes away. So Pell's build doesn't involve manual secondaries. It's just, I'm not exactly sure of the entire build, but I know that he runs the AFT, BFT for the secondaries, but not the manual. And the reason that you don't really want to run manual secondaries is because of if you're surrounded on both sides, you just want your secondaries to start blazing. And German secondaries are amazing. I mean, if you really want to go for a shits and gigs build, go AFT, BFT, and IFHE, and that's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But you've got to remember that the German secondaries already get that 1/4 pen, so they already do a lot of penetration damage as it is. You don't really need the IFHE. So here the enemy, again, massive amount of points, a high points lead, and they keep pushing. Now the thing with a lot of enemy ships is when they're pushing, is they push one at a time. And it's crazy. And that's why teams end up losing. Now, you see here, so Pell does a fair bit of damage on here. And then it's the next salvo. He doesn't actually get the kill. A lot of times when you play with Pell, what will happen is he uses his battleship to deliver the big punch. So when he plays solo, totally different. When he plays in the division though, like he is here, as you can see, he's put that big hit in, 8,000. Now he'll say to King, who's on our team in the Zhao, you finish him. He's yours. I've got other things to hit. And he'll do it if he's on his own, or he's on on a flank on his own, or he's playing solo. Then he'll finish what he can see. But dealing the big hits, so you can sometimes go out with Pell, and you might have a Kraken, but you'll have about 50,000 damage, if that. And Pell will have 190, 200,000 damage, because he's been hitting everything really hard and then just calling for you to finish him off. So he likes kills just like the rest of us do, but he thinks it's a waste of his firepower if he has to fire a salvo at a 2,000 health ship, things like that. So it's pretty cool. When you go out with Pell, you know that he's going to do the damage for you, and you just have to finish him off. I remember the very first battle actually that I played with Pell when he first joined our clan. I was in the Kid and he was in the North Carolina, and we got 7 kills between us. I only got 1, but mine was the kill on the Asashio, which would have been able to take him out quite easily. So doing my job is what I was, that's what I was there for, screen him, take out the enemy DD, and then Pell just popped every cruiser that came into view range so that I could do my job, which was screening him. So this battle's not over. We have 4.5 minutes to go. It's less than 100 points, and the ships, our team have, or Pell's team, have the ship advantage now. But if you have a look at the sea cap, our friend who was gallivanting around the world has now got himself trapped in the sea cap with 2 enemy battleships. Now, you can see where the last known markers are, but they're not up on the screen, which means that the Shima is in his smoke. Now you can torp all you like out of a smoke, but when you were being rushed, as you can see, by 3 ships, you're not going to live long at all. Now we haven't actually seen the enemy Shima. He's been playing a really good stealthy game the entire game. In fact, he doesn't get spotted for the entire battle, and that is great destroyer play, as in great Shimakaze play. You spot, you use that awesome concealment to spot, and you can test. This is the second time he's gone for A, and he's going to cap it out again. So he's got 2 solo caps on his own. He's also got a whole heap of damage. We saw him do damage on Pell. He's obviously been spotting and torpedoing everything else. He just hasn't been spotted. And the only thing you could ask for him to do more would be to try and get some kills. Now our Shima's gone back to get D. He's been playing a relatively good game as well. The only thing that sort of I got a little disappointed with him is that he just put GG in the chat. Now, 2 minutes 45 seconds to go. The game is not over yet. Yeah, we're 3 caps down. We're starting to lose points, but now we've stopped one of their points coming in. So this is where a lot of players panic and they lose their heads. This end bit here where it's 900 points ticking over, we're going to lose. And so 2 brothers is usually at the end of 2 brothers, this is what happens. You go up the guts and everyone wants to try and do it with you. Some people try to go up the guts in the beginning because they think they're all Flambass. Flambass is a super unicorn player who plays the game for a living. We're not all super unicorn players that play the game for a living. But in saying that, at the end of the game, the channel is quite an effective avenue if used correctly. Now, speaking of used correctly, I'm not sure what the Charles Martel on the enemy team in front of us, not our Charles Martel, is doing. Yes, there's a Zhao on the corner here, but firing off torpedoes at a waiting ship isn't going to make the waiting ship come out and get himself killed. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times it doesn't. Now I can imagine the call here. Pell will be saying, right, we need to get out there, King. They need to die. We've got to get out there to win. There's a minute to go. The points are ticking over very close. And our Shima does a great thing. He puts in the chat there, what my torps are coming, just stop. Now usually if I do that, I would say watch my torps, and I'd ping the map on the route where the torps are going. And then the Charles Martel, instead of just turning and running away from the mouth of the channel, decides that he's going to turn around to get his other torpedoes off. And this is why I don't like torpedoes on cruisers, because it makes people use torpedoes full stop make people want to use torpedoes more than their guns. If you just had a run, they would have won the game. Now, the Zhao has very trollish armour, so King was lucky to survive there. And then Pell gets the final kill. And we have, what's that, 8. 8 kills between the 3 of these guys. Yeah, that was a great game, guys. Thanks for sending that replay in, Pell. It was both good and frustrating to watch. I'm glad you guys took out the win in the end, because some of the work you had to do was, there was a lot of work there. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me, and stay safe out there.